Okay, I want to welcome everybody to our competition critique night. It is April the 16th, 2022. And glad to see we got everybody. We got lots of people coming in still, so that's great. We do have one new member here tonight, Nona. Where are you? Over here. She's incognito.
I'm here.
Hey, Nona, welcome. Glad to
Thank
see you
you.
coming in. Give us a little bit of background. What kind of photography do you do?
Well, my passion is wildlife, but I also like pretty much anything from macro to flowers, nature, landscapes. I actually signed up for a trip from John Putnam
Awesome.
in May for Acadia in the fall. So
Great.
but pretty much a lot, but wildlife.
Great. Awesome. That's kind of I do a little bit of everything as well. So, and everybody in this group is kind of well-rounded. That can't see that. Anyway, so welcome to the club. And if there's anything we can help you with, let us know.
Thank you very much.
And just so, let's see, I'm going to give you a quick little synopsis of what we do here. The critique night, we basically have three judges, Robert Rostick and Jim Sykes are our two professionals. They judge them, and then we have one member, every month a different member is the third judge. And we do quickly go through the judging. Nobody's competing against each other. It's basically on the merits of each image, based on one on the assignment, obviously, and then we have the general category. And then afterwards we do critiques. And so the assignment is critiqued on basically the assignment and then other criteria as well. And then the general category is judged or is critiqued on the individual picture. So it's we try to be very educational with the critiques, or what I call kind critiques. Usually he comes down on, like, Robert can come down on me pretty hard, and a few others pretty hard because we expect it, but he won't do that to everybody. Usually, right, Robert? And yeah, so and it's very educational. We'll take you into Lightroom and sometimes Photoshop and actually show you what we're talking about if we have, if it's something we can do in one of those programs.
Awesome.
Okay, so thanks for coming, and let's get right into this. Just remind everybody that starting in June, we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I want to make sure everybody is that starting in June with the competition meeting, we will be having the meetings on Thursday, on the third and the fourth Thursdays instead of the Fridays. So that will be starting in June. I'll remind everybody again in the next couple of meetings, but just kind of get that in your, I went ahead and changed my calendar because I have it, going forward every month, changed it from in June to Thursday. The assignments coming up this month obviously is Triptych. Next month is wildflowers. In June is minimalism. In July is black and white portrait using window light only. In August, it is using, using only, I'm sorry. I can't read my own writing here, sorry. August is stormy weather. So these are what's coming up. If you want to, if you can't, do write those down. They are on the website. You just go to our second page and you'll see the assignments for the year, and they're all there by month. And they give each one gives a little bit of description about what we're looking for. Education nights. This month, next Friday will be Minimalism by Scott Norris. And let me just share my screen real quick. And if you haven't seen it already, here is the information about that on the website. And Scott's an old friend of mine. I've known him for a number of years, and this is something he's well known for. As you can see, his minimalism can be simple objects, just a doorknob. He did a whole series of stuff in his bathroom, which were incredible. You think it sounds weird, but it worked. And there's the coffee cup. So he does a lot of different things, but his thing seems to be more minimalism than anything else. A lot of it's in black and white. There's a little bit of color here and there, but most of it's black and white. So he's a really cool guy. So I think you'll enjoy him next week next week. The following month in May, we're going to have Power of Personal Projects. And that's something that I've learned about quite a bit lately, especially when I was in Death Valley. And then again out of Chicago conference, is there a lot of photographers are now doing projects, whether it's 3 pictures for a triptych or 100 pictures for a book or whatever. But you know, and you probably are doing projects and you don't even realize it, because you have it. Most of us have a tendency to take pictures of a lot of the same type of things, and that could always be a project. And there's actually magazines and stuff out there that use projects for publication. So it's good. This Mary is another good friend of mine, and she was a teacher. She just retired last year, and she's another wonderful person. I'm sure you'll enjoy her as well. In June, Jim and Robert are going to do a talk on using window light for portraits, which will be our July assignment. So you'll have a month to work on those images. In July, we're going to have a panel discussion. So we'll come up with some subjects, and then also it'll be kind of an open discussion about anything you guys want to talk about in terms of photography, post-processing, whatever. And last time we did this, we were in person, and it took us forever because everybody had so many questions. We had so much to talk about. We never realized it was going to take, it was going to take so much time, but it was great. We got a lot of stuff out there. And then in August, we're going to do peers. We're not going to have a class. We're going to do a shoot on a Thursday night, and we're going to go to the St. Pete Pier, and we're calling it Pier and Beer. So you can shoot and have at the pier and have a beer if you want, or you can have a cocktail, whatever you want, because there is a restaurant that's got a lot of good drinks up at the top of the pier. Then in September, Jim is going to do a class on time-lapse photography, which is, pretty popular out there right now, and it'd be nice to know actually how to do it. So that's what's coming up in education up through September. Any questions about any of that? Okay, our next outing is going to be, let me get rid of this. Stop sharing. Our next outing is going to be Eureka Springs Park, and that is next Saturday at 10 a.m. Again, there is a listing on that, and all the information is on the website. So if you haven't seen that, go ahead and look at the website, and the information is there. Eureka Springs is a small little county park here in Hillsborough County. It's over off of I-4 and 301, and it's a cute little park. There's probably a quarter of a mile long boardwalk, maybe longer, maybe half a mile long boardwalk through the Florida wetland type of forest thing. But they also have a greenhouse with orchids. They have what they're known for is their water lilies. They still have some, but they cleaned out their waterways a month ago, and a lot of the water lilies didn't start blooming yet. So I'm hoping by next week we'll have a few more. I went there 2 weeks ago, and there were a few. So hopefully there'll still be some. But they also have gardens with other flowers in them. So it's it's just like I said, it's a maybe an hour, 2 hour shoot, just a fun little place to hang out for a few hours together. And also it's a great place for infrared, because they have a lot of old oaks, which are really cool for infrared. So if you have an infrared lens or a filter, or if you have a converted camera, bring them on, and we can spend a little time doing some infrared as well.
What time is that?
10 a.m. on Saturday the 23rd, which is next week. Okay, we're thinking about some other outings coming up for the next couple of months, but we haven't tied anything down yet, so we'll let you know about those once we get them planned. The other thing I wanted you to put a note on your calendar is we have set the date for photo camp for 2023. That's going to be March the 3rd through the 5th, which is a Friday, Saturday, and leaving on Sunday. It's going to be at Rainbow Springs again. And I hate to say this because I feel bad for the people with RVs, but we called and we went on. You have to register online for the spots. We could not get any RV spots 5 seconds after they switched over for that date. We tried. We were able to we got 5 or 6 tent spots again, basically the same area we were this year. So unfortunately, we tried. We were waiting there for at 8 o'clock on whatever date it was, last Sunday or Monday or whatever it was. It was the day we could register for the 3rd of March of next year, believe it or not, and we missed it. I don't know if somebody is selling these things or what the deal is, but we weren't able to get anything other than tent spots. So that's what we've got. So it's March the 3rd through the 5th in 2023. Any questions or comments about anything at this point? I have one other request. I am the person that, gathers all the images that come in for the competition. It takes me about 2.5 hours to put all this together, set it up on the galleries so that Jim and Robert can look at them, and we've got them on, ready to go, because I have to create the score sheet and all this stuff. I'm still getting some entries without the leading A for assigned or G for general. So please, when you rename your image, please put on the very things, say, for example, the image is named the flower. Put A dash the flower or G dash the flower so that I can sort these easily, because I went through, I'm probably 75% of them are coming with those on there, but the other 25% I'm having to go back and forth, try to figure out whether they're a general or a sign, and it takes more time that way. So if I have everybody putting those letters at the beginning, it makes it a lot easier for me to just throw everything in the assigned folder, everything in the general folder, and then create my score sheet, which I have to, takes actually the longest time. So I don't want to be hunting images. So if you would please do that, I really, really appreciate it. Okay, Robert, any comments?
Not at this time. I am putting something in the chat box that was brought to my attention by Joe Pimbo, and it is about architectural photography.
Okay.
So I will put the link in the box. Check your chat.
Okay.
And it is a good video to see about architectural photography.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Robert. Jim, any comments?
No, I'm just glad I'm actually even here.
Get awake?
Barely.
Barely.
I have not slept for 2 nights in a row. After this meeting is over, I'm going to get some sleep. I haven't had a day off since I don't remember when, and I've been working 24 hours a day for a lot of days, including the last 2.
Not good to work yourself to death, Jim.
Yeah, I know. A month and a half ago, I was looking for more work, and now I have more work than I can fit in my calendar, and more work that I can do in 24 hours a day.
Yeah, feast or famine, I guess, huh?
What's that? Yeah.
Okay. Do you have
so,
access?
No, I did not get to look at the images ahead of time. I'll be seeing them as they come up tonight to judge them. It'll be like the old days.
Yep. Did you get yourself into the score sheet for April?
Yes, I have the score sheet.
Okay.
Yes,
so
I do.
I'll just deal Sylvia as our 3rd judge. I will put her score in, and you can take care of yours.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So any other comments from anybody else? Okay, then I guess we'll go ahead and I'll share my screen and get my, let's see, I don't have this up. That's not good. Hold on a second. I'm getting into Lightroom. Just updating a few things beforehand, and I forgot to open Lightroom back up. Oops. And
While you're doing that, Lynn, I actually forgot to call you earlier. For the pavilion, did you want one for 100 people or 50 people? For the photo
one, whatever the smallest one they've got. Yeah, we don't need that many. There's no way to have that many people.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay, and the latest update of Lightroom for some reason is taking forever to open on my computer. I don't know why, but I'm sorry. Sorry about that. It's opening slowly but surely.
So Sunday is going to be the first time all the people in my family that live in Florida are going to be together in person since the start of the pandemic.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
Good.
Always fun getting the family together. Oh, the beach ball is turning around and around and around. Sorry, I am so sorry about this. Yeah, I actually have the wrong one open. Okay, hold on a second. Now I gotta read. Okay. I am not on the ball today. Had the wrong one open. Anybody else have any jokes to tell? Robert, you're awfully quiet tonight. Oh, he's not even there. Okay, now we got the right one. Sorry, I was working on my blog, and so I had a different catalog open. Okay, let's see. I need to get to.
Brian, what time are we meeting for dinner?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about, you said the family, it's coming,
Oh,
it'd be together. And apparently you guys have left me out of your family thing again.
it's in Davenport. Lunch is at 1 p.m. Sunday.
And have you told them about me?
Look who's coming to dinner.
Guess who's coming to dinner?
You notice Brian is not, he's not laughing.
Yeah, he's not laughing. All right, finally got this thing up. Okay, sorry about that, guys. All right.
Oh, wait a minute. Where's my chat? Ah,
All right.
well, here it is.
All right. So assignment was Triptych. And let's get started on the first one here. We need all this. Okay, the first one is called Screech Owlette.
Hang on 1 second. Oh, wait a minute. Every time I turn around, I'm sorry, I'm losing my chat here.
You're
There.
fumbling.
I know, I caught it from you, I guess.
Yeah, join the crowd. We can blame
Yeah.
it on Lee. Score is 23. That's an award for Lee Win. Next one is Snowy Egret. Okay, why is this not working? Sorry. I'm having an issue here with my iPad. It's not my night for computers tonight, guys. What's going on? Oh, there we go. Okay. 20, the score is 23. That's an award for Lee Win. I think I've got myself straightened out now. Next one is Feather Reflection. Score is 24. That's an award for Helga. I'm having fun here, guys. Don't mind me. bashing here. Next one is making a workbench.
Nice job on that bench.
Yeah. Score is 21. That's an honorable mention for Jim Hagan. Next one is Shades of Spring.
Wait a minute.
Score is 23. That's an award for Nona. Next one is Breathe. Score is 23. That's an award for Tom Hickey. Next one is Tulips. Score is 22. It's an honorable mention for Lee. Next one is Eastern State Penitentiary.
Yep.
Score is 23. That's an award for Lee. Next one is the Floridian. Jim, did you fall asleep?
No,
Okay, I'm just making sure.
if I'm not mistaken, it's the Floridan, not the Floridian.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that too, but that's what the title he put on it. So
Uh-huh.
I put the same thing. The score is 22. That is an honorable mention for Steve Zimick. Next one is A Fisherman's Life. Score is 22. It's an honorable mention for Jim Hagan. Next one is Autumn Colors. Score is 22. It's an honorable mention for myself. Next one is The One That Got Away. Score is 23. That is an award for myself. Next one is Lily at 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Fong. Next one is Crane Baby. And Fong actually is a egret, but that's okay. Score is 22. It's an honorable mention for Fong. Next one is Triptych Flowers. Score is 22. That's an award for Sherry Kalzinski. Next one is Red Flowers. Score is 22. That's an award for Sherry. Next one is Flower Portraits. Sylvia, just put 0 for yours.
Oh, okay. I thought I just left it blank.
Yeah, no, just put a 0. So I got it.
Okay.
So I keep it in line.
Gotcha.
Score is 24. That's an award for Sylvia. Next one is we don't always get what we want. Score is 23. That's an award for Sylvia. Oops. Next one is gotcha. Score is 22. It's an honorable mention for Jim McWilliam. Next one is triplets. Score is 23. That's an award for Karen. Next one is Al Capone's Home Away from Home. Score is 24. It's an award for Jack. Next one is End of the Road. Oops. Score is 23. That's an award for Jan. Why is this doing this? Next one is A Man and His Dog. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. This one, A Man and His Dog. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Brian. Next one is Drying Off. Score is 23. That's an award for Brian. And last one is Up and Over. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Jim McWilliam. Okay, we're going on to general. The first one is Cape May. Score is 22. That's an award for Alan. Next one is Cracked Up. Score is 24. That's an award for Jan. Next one is Wonderful Land. Score is 23. That's an award for Lee Win. Next one is Alameda and Winter Weather. Score is 22. It's an honorable mention for Jack. Next one is Lunch with a View. Score is 23. It's an award for Brian. Next one is The View from the End of the Trail. Score is 23. That's an award for Alan. Next one is Rippled Reflections. Score is 22. It's an award for Jan. Next one is Osprey Touchdown. Score is 23. That's an award for Steve Zimick. Next one is Lovebirds. Really. Score is 23. That's an award for Sylvia. Next one is An Eye for Stairs. Score is 23. That's an award for myself. Next one is Himalayan Blue Poppy. Score is 23. That's an award for Jack. Next one is Purple Flowers Longwood Gardens. Those flowers are actually, those are anemones, if you don't know what those are, anemones. Score is 23. That's an award for Lee. Next one is Supervision. Score is 22 and it's award for Tom. Next one is Thai Temple Tampa Altered Reality. It's infrared, Sylvia.
Okay. Was sure that it was. Then when you said altered reality, I thought, well, okay.
Yeah, infrared. Score is 23. That's an award for Steve Zimick. girl and birds, and this is general. Score is 22. It's an honorable mention for Fong. Last but not least, Surviving Iris. Score is 22. It's an award for Sherry Kelzinski. And that's it. We're going to take a 5-minute break. Come back at, let's say 8 o'clock, and we'll get started on the critiques.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So where did you go on your trip, Lynn?
We went to Pennsylvania to Longwood Gardens and the
Where's
Philadelphia.
that? What part of Pennsylvania?
It's the, I guess it's the southern part of Pennsylvania. It's, you know, right next to, basically we were right next door to Delaware. We actually went over to Delaware one day, and then
Okay.
and then we flew into Philadelphia and then drove. It's a Kenneck Square, which is where Longwood Gardens is, about an hour south of or southwest of Philadelphia. So
Oh, okay. Because I'm originally
yeah,
from.
we ended up going
just,
up. That's
from-
the penitentiary pictures are from the penitentiary in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I was born and raised just outside of Philadelphia, Valley Forge area.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a nice time up there. It was kind of yucky weather, but but we had one day so we could get blue skies behind the cherry blossom. So that was good. The rest of the time, you know, we were shooting flowers. So rainy weather is actually good for rainy, you know, for flowers.
Yeah.
Other than it kind of knocks the daffodils' heads down, but other than that, it worked great. Yeah, trying to shoot the flowers on the sunny day was horrible. It was shadows everywhere. So we were glad we had the rainy days when we did.
Yeah.
And the prison would have been a lot better, would not have been as good, I think, in sun as it was in the rain. So
Property I grew up on had a little creek that ran down through part of it, and it had a swampy area where there were some springs, and daffodils grew wild there like crazy.
yeah. Well, we went to Winterthur, which is in Delaware, and it's one of the DuPont mansions. And oh my God, they had daffodils planted all over. They're huge, big fields of just, you know, daffodil. And they said that the particular DuPont that lived there, I can't remember which one, but he made a design like the clouds. So his batches of big, huge batches of daffodils were all weird shapes. So it was, you could stand there and it kind of looked like daffodil clouds on the field. So it was we had a good time. Got some great food. and including a Philly cheesesteak sandwich, which we got off the plane, and the first thing Lee wanted to do is go get a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. And we go to this place. He calls one of his friends who's from Philly, and they send us to this place. It's this little tiny place. It's takeout only, but they did have a table out by the side of the road, and the sandwich is as long as his arm.
Yep.
Yeah, we split it 3 ways, and enough meat fell out of it that we could make another whole sandwich out of it. It was
Yep.
crazy.
That's typical of those little places up there.
Oh my God, it was.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
other thing,
He said that was the best one he ever had.
yeah. He said it was good. I was good.
If I-
I'm just not a fan.
I don't know if you got to try one there or not, but had I known you were going, I would have also recommended another regional specialty
Okay.
sandwich. Is called a Zepp.
The Zepp? No.
Yep. It's very unique, very special to southeastern Pennsylvania. It's kind of like, Cuban sandwiches here. It's,
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, as everywhere we went, he wanted to get a Philly cheese. He got a Philly cheese. There was a restaurant, a pretty nice place across the street from the penitentiary, believe it or not. And, but he and Jack, they ordered the cheesesteak there and they didn't like them. They were a little too, I think, elevated. I had a pretty good fish sandwich there. But the last night we were there, we ate in a place called Solvano Bistro, which was really good. Kind of like a Seasons 52. They have different stuff on the menu every week, and really good food. And the service was unbelievable. I mean, it's like somebody was walking by asking us if we needed anything every minute.
What do you mean by an elevated cheesesteak?
Well, they some of these, this place was a little, not shishi, but it was a little fancy. And so they try to take a common everyday kind of recipe and bring it up to another level. But sometimes people don't like that. And that's kind of what I think Jack might be able to answer that, because Lee definitely didn't like it. So yeah. Yeah, it was a little too, it wasn't exactly the same. They called it a Philly cheesesteak, but it wasn't really, according to them, it wasn't really a Philly cheesesteak. So. Yeah, but yeah, I was telling you earlier, the cherry blossoms were blooming so much everywhere. It was incredible. It was just everywhere we went, there were cherry blossoms. So we kind of hit that at the right time. And then we hit the blue poppies, which they only last a couple of weeks. So we got lucky with those as well at Longwood Gardens. And if anybody's thinking about going to Longwood Gardens, they are in the middle of a massive building. They knocked down probably a third of the conservatory and the greenhouses. And it looks like the plans that they've got it's going to be tremendous when they're done with it.
You know how long did they say how long?
It's probably going to take a couple of years. I mean, they're not building. I mean, part of it is real buildings, but a lot of it is more greenhousey kind of places. So that doesn't take as long to build. But obviously they've got to replan everything, because the stuff they pulled out, the part that's not there anymore was the part that had big, huge trees in it. I don't know. I mean, and they just ripped out a lot of stuff. Waterfalls. I mean, that part of the conservatory was pretty older. It was pretty old. It needed to be redone. They redid their orchid house, and it's beautiful. It used to be very dark and very small and very close. And now they've opened it up so there's more light in there, and you don't feel like you're standing on top of the orchids and on top of the people while you're in there. So, but some of the parts, the older parts that were kind of jungly in there were kind of cool, but things have to be changed over time. So
Sure.
they're considering this as their 100 to 200 year plan, which is what DuPont initially did. They made a 100-year plan on that place, and now they're kind of starting the next generation of plans.
Yeah.
It's pretty spectacular place, I'll tell you. And we had a really good lunch there. They have a cafeteria that's kind of really, really nice. But then they also have a restaurant there, and we ate lunch there the first day we were there, and it was really good. Great service again, great place to eat.
Is it Longwood Gardens? Is that out near Chicago? No?
No,
Right?
it's in Pennsylvania. It's near
Oh, okay.
Philadelphia. You're thinking of the Chicago Botanical Gardens. They have,
Okay, oh,
yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
yes. Longwood is in Pennsylvania. Okay,
yeah,
yes. I
Longwood's in
think I-
Pennsylvania, and yeah, Chicago has the Chicago Botanical Gardens, which is
Yeah,
another
yeah.
big botanical gardens. Yeah. All right, let's get started back onto our critiques here. Oh, Jack reminded me, looks like he took off. I think he wasn't feeling well again. He wanted to remind everybody to remind you about the donation button on the website. So, you know, we like to bring in extra money to help pay for the speakers that we have, and we've got 3 more going this year, so that we have to pay for. So if there's anything, even a small amount, we will take. We appreciate it. So anyway, to further your education. So anyway, let's get back to share the screen, and I will bring Lightroom back up again, and we will go back to assign, and let's go ahead and, unfortunately, because of the type of images we got here and how this is set up, we cannot make any adjustments to these. So we will have to learn by what our esteemed judges have to say in terms of what to do to make these better.
Okay, we checked all 4 systems and I'm keen with a go.
B&H Wheel folks find the products they need. Isn't that right, Irving? Yes.
Off your TV.
We're launching a missile.
Somebody needs to turn off their TV or turn off their sound. Okay, go ahead, guys. And Sylvia, you chime in too wherever you want to.
I like this very much. I think for me, the only, at first blush, when I looked at it, they look so similar. There doesn't seem to be a lot of difference between. And now that I look at it, I see that the eye level goes up a little on each photo. I do like it. I think for me, that was the only thing. Each photo looks very similar to the other, especially the first 2.
I had the same impression of this as a triptych.
Robert, Jim?
I would suggest, being that they, you know, they're very similar, but the lighting and the colors are slightly different in them, especially in the center one. I like the sequence happening through there, but the center one is brighter and warmer on the owl's head, which keeps bringing me back and locking me into the center of the sequence of 3. It would be easier mentally to repeat the sequence of 3 and look back and forth through it if I weren't continuously drawn to the center image being brighter and warmer than the other 2.
Robert, any comments?
Yeah. On this, you had the opportunity to add color in here, and you added color in the eyes. I would like for the color in the eyes to be a lot more intense. If you're gonna put color in a black and white scene, overdo it. So
Any
this is
comments?
it's all about the eyes here.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Next, unfortunately, we can't show any of this because we can't make changes to these images. So,
Luann, on your composition is inconsistent. Not on that one. The next one.
Yeah.
Your composition is inconsistent. Tell me why.
What you mean? You want a same posture?
No, it's not the same posture. Look at this spacing on the left and right hand side of each of the images.
Well, because the first one, because his head is down. So if I'm gonna make more space and then the left, right will be not enough space. If I only have a single picture, the first one, the right side, I will have more space. So I know what you mean, because the other two, the right side has more space, but because they're more vertical, their heads is up. The first one heads is down, so take more space when you put the three together.
Well, the consistency, that's where the problem is. The consistency on the first one, on the right-hand side of the first one, is inconsistent with the other two.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if I move that more, I sort of then, because of his head, it's done. I would like more space than the right side. But I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the right side. I should have the same space as the right other two.
Now, the same space as the left side of it.
Well, basically the
Of the
left.
single
is about the
image.
same. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last comment.
I said the left side actually is pretty big on both. Actually, they get smaller as you go to the right.
Correct, but I'm simply talking about the first image and the first image alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not comparing it to any of the other two. Your spacing on the right-hand side of the first image is inconsistent with the left-hand side, regardless of what the head position is.
Yeah,
so you were saying to put a more
it's
in
off-centered. It's very off-centered to the bird is off-centered to the right. There's way more space, black space on the left than the right.
Yes. Yeah. So, but I still don't get, I mean, because his head is low, it's a horizontally go, but not vertical.
But that doesn't change the left to right spacing you could have.
Well, I still don't quite understand.
Okay, Lynn, put your cursor on the last feather. All right, put it right there. Now look at the space between that and the edge of the.
Whoops.
Look at the space between that and the edge.
Yes, I know.
All right, now look on the opposite side.
Yeah.
All right, you see that large space there? It has nothing to do with the head.
Yes, yeah, I got that. But what I'm saying is, I try to, if I move to same space on this one, but his body is, what I'm saying is the body is, his head is down. So I'm thinking, since he looking that way, the left side should be more space than right side. But right side, I totally agree. I actually wanted more space. But then I said, I put a more space on the right side, then they don't fit.
What you're doing is applying a rule that does not apply to this particular image.
I agree with Robert.
Okay. It's kind of confusing.
Okay.
Because I forget about the other two images to start off with, I think is what you're saying.
Yeah. If I just have this one image and then the right side, I will put more.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Right side need more. Yeah. I actually, my original picture, it is more on the right side, but I'm trying to fit on that space. So I cut some space down.
Yeah, I mean, I see what, guys, if she tried to make it fit into this, so there was the same size as this, then the bird would have been smaller than the other two because of the position he's in. So
well, you got black on either side. You can move the bird wherever you want.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with making it smaller.
Yeah.
It has to do with the space consistency.
Yeah. Okay.
Got it.
But I'm saying it nicely though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're very nice. Thank you.
Oh, Helga. If I could only see you right now, I would blow you a kiss, but I'd be blowing a kiss into the wind of Zoom.
Like it?
Like it. Yeah, that's.
Oh my God, we heard her voice.
Yeah, that's lovely, Helga. That one should be on a wall.
Yep.
I agree. I think it's beautiful, really beautiful. The different, the white with the color in the center, and just the it's so sharp, and the focus, it's beautiful. I loved it.
Thank you. Oh my God, we heard Elga's voice.
Yeah, I had to threaten to kiss her in order to get it.
Well,
Jim Hager.
Well, I tell you the truth, I totally missed the mark on this.
Thank you so much for critiquing this image for me.
I saw all these other images. I said, man, I had brain damage. But I thought I was going to tell a story about a workbench, and in reality, these things had to stand on their own. So I got it. You can blast away if you wish.
Now you've done a really nice job yourself.
No, that's cool.
It may have helped had the first image been from the same perspective as the second two images.
Yeah.
It would have been a more consistent telling.
Oh, I screwed this up about 12 away from Sunday, but I can see that now. I totally do. Well, while I got a story up there, you see that dark piece of wood up there? I made that whole bench out of those things.
For me,
Nice.
the triptych part of it, the technical, is that your spacing, you've got a very narrow spacing on between the first two and such a wider, and it my eyes, despite the fact that the photos are rather busy, but it's just technically from that aspect.
You guys could go on all night and you can probably find a dozen. I got it.
Okay.
Are you keeping that workbench or is it for sale?
It's beautiful.
That thing's about 400 pounds. It's 90 inches by 40 inches. And no, I'm going to keep it for a while.
It's not going anywhere. This is our new member from Nona. Be nice.
Nice.
And I would ask you, is this all the same photo with different color tones placed on it, or are they actually different photos?
It's the identical photo with different
That would be the
tones.
only critique. One of the critiques is that the instructions were for 3 different photos, but it's beautiful.
Oh, okay. And I wasn't sure if I could put text onto the image or not. So
The answer to that is no, we don't do that.
Right.
yeah, I
We
didn't
do-
know if it was allowed. It was the first time and I wasn't
Right, yeah.
sure.
No, we cut you some slack on that this time.
Thank you.
Yeah, because you do get to enter a title and the title does get to be announced. So there's there's no purpose for the title to be on the photo, itself, as.
So this should have been
Unless
3
for some
different.
reason, beyond it being a title that the text is some important element, now if it's the text is in the photograph itself, yes, but added text, unless it's, part of the artistic intent, is okay. But
So how would you have cropped this without the text?
You didn't need to crop it.
So I could have left it exactly the way it is, to just have no text.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, I just
And
felt
the-
like the text added to the
Mhm.
story.
And the three final renditions are different. It's okay that it's the same image presented 3 different ways. That is okay. That was acceptable.
Yeah.
And
They just
it's
didn't want
not-
one
and it's
image
nicely
chopped
done
into
at
3
that.
pieces.
Thank you.
Wait. I know you don't get off that easily.
Oh wait, this is the first time I've ever done a triptych. I've never done one.
I do hear you, and I hear you loudly and clearly. But I want to know, how is it that the type that you used added to the story?
Well, I don't know that it added to the story other than I was trying to portray the different tones of spring that I see when I go to the gardens and take a picture. So I thought that the shades of spring told the story.
Yeah. Now, you ever heard? Are you a graphic designer?
No,
Okay.
I'm a wildlife photographer.
Okay. All right. The reason why I asked that is because what you've done is a CSA. They call it a CSA.
A CSA? What's a CSA?
All right. I see the shades of color, and yet you spell it out.
Okay, so should I leave that to the imagination?
well, so you put the title on there. All right, like so.
Yes, you do submit the image with the title, and it is announced with its title. And it is important that you title it properly, you know, but the title doesn't get printed on the image itself.
Yeah.
As part of the.
She's just learning. She's got to learn the rules. That's okay.
Oh no,
I
no,
don't-
no, no.
I didn't.
And yes, and she got an award for this, you know, yes, we know, and the necessary slack was cut this time.
Oh yeah, it was
Well,
definitely cut.
well, thank you. The next time I will take all titles off.
Right, but you mentioned early on, you said that you thought it was part of the story, and I wanted to know how it was part of the story.
Because when I go to the gardens and the first things that I see, okay, in spring, I live in Denver, Colorado. And the first colors I see are yellow and purple and pink. So
I'm
for
gonna
me,
interrupt
that was like
because-
the initial colors of spring that I see.
Yeah, I see the little bit of confusion here between the question and the answer. I think what the question is not how does shades of spring, that particular phrase, influence the story. It is, the question is, how does smacking text onto an image make the story?
Yeah.
Not what the text says, but the fact that there's text there itself. That's the issue.
Okay, well, I have to tell you that I belong to some clubs here in Colorado, and they don't get to see the title at all, so they can't figure out what the story is.
Oh, you have to title it
okay, that
by
makes sense.
planting the title onto the image itself. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
no, they don't have you put text on the image, but when they show the image, they don't even show the title, so nobody can really see what the story is.
Okay, no, your title will always be read with your image.
Yep.
And actually, to a certain extent, that is part of the scoring. When the title is announced and we look at the image, if we feel there's an incongruency between the image and the title, that can actually cause a deduction if the title does not appear to match the image. So yes, it's good to have an appropriate title, and we just don't have it on the image.
Okay, so I have one more question. If I didn't have any text on the image, would it have scored any differently?
It would have been seen differently.
Mhm. In this case, like I say, we knew what happened, and and I'm speaking for myself, but I bet
And
Robert
me
was the same
too.
way.
Me too.
New member, we knew what happened. We mentally ignored it and scored it as though it wasn't there.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay.
But remember now, this is the only time.
I get it. You're cutting me some slack. Thank you.
Oh, and just so you know, not only titles but signatures.
Yeah, no signatures.
No signature. Yeah.
Well, I took my signature off.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Signatures.
she asked me about that. I
Signatures,
already told her no
titles.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, signatures, titles, and fancy borders. The triptych is kind of an exception with bordering the three images because they do have to fit within something else. This is like the one exception, but otherwise, you get a title that gets read, and the image stands on its own. No fancy borders or embellishments or titles or signatures.
Well, this isn't a fancy border, is it?
No. But for future
Okay,
reference,
thank
just so
you.
know,
No,
because
no
we-
borders at all is what we're looking for. Yeah.
Yeah.
We want the image just by itself. Okay. So any other other than that, no, the flowers are beautiful. They really
Thank
did a good
you.
job with those. And I like I'm one of the flower people here. So I like the shapes and the fact that you've got that nice smooth background where it's that what it is, but it's not taking you away from the flower. So
Thank you.
all right, on to the next one, guys. This is Tom's. I'm not sure if he's here tonight.
I wish I could question Tom. I do.
I mean, I think it's an interesting combination. I just wish he'd put a little space in between them. Because it almost looks like three people.
I'm not bothered by the no spacing in between. there is a distinct separation between the images. I don't mind that they run together like that at all.
Robert?
No, I don't mind it as well. I was going to ask him about the process of not how he processed it, but how did he go about capturing this? That was going to be my question.
It looks
Yeah,
like
and,
almost like window light.
Yeah, and not and that was the I had some questions too. Not that it affected scoring in any way at all, just from a perspective of being interested and curiosity.
Yeah.
About the artistic process that was involved in creating this.
Yeah, it looks to me like it might be window light in a studio, yoga studio.
Oh, darn, not bad. Oh, but I do have something to say about this one.
This is Lee's, and he's not here tonight.
Gosh, Lee, did he enlarge that one middle image?
I don't think so. He did kind of like a take it. He was kind of doing that, kind of like the John Putnam thing. Stand back and take the image, get closer, and then get closer. He does what he's trying to do here.
I keyed in on that, right away when I saw this. I was like, oh, we just had a presenter talking about doing just this.
And Robert, I don't think that's the same flower.
No, I know it's not the same flower. What I'm getting at is that the end flower, the third one looks a little softer than the other ones.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
it looks like it's focused in right here on that drop, and everything else a little soft.
Yeah.
This one's a little better, and then obviously these are.
It's shallower depth of field. He may have kept the same settings on the camera and then just moved it closer, which shifted the depth of field to become shallower.
Yeah.
And by the way, I think it was Sylvia brought up the point, just to be clear, about 3 separate photographs, and the rules were not 3 separate photographs. It was present 3 different images, and that's why known as counted. It was,
I guess I
was 3
misunderstood
separate
it.
images. They came from the same source, but they were because they were processed differently, they were 3 different images.
Okay.
It did not state three different photos.
Oh, Lee, gosh, I want to ask you so many questions. And it hemorrhage on the center image. I have 2 images that are very much alike, and they begin the story, and I have the most compelling image is the third one I found to be, but they're all processed differently, and I want to know why.
Yeah,
so,
to me, that the middle one is a little crooked looking.
It is.
Yeah,
And it just kind of throws it off. Yeah.
That bar at the bottom keeps drawing my eye down there that it's crooked, and I didn't, looks like he could have straightened it. I thought maybe if he did that, then everything at the top was out of whack, but it looks like it is crooked.
Yeah, it is. Overall, for the final presentation, I don't mind that the center one is colored a little differently. However, I would have flip-flopped the right and the center. Put the one on the far right in the center, and then you would have the ones with the bars, 2 with bars on the ends, and straighten up the one that's crooked, or make the other one slanted in the opposite direction as well, and then center that the one that's on the right. All 3 images are great on their own. The assembly of the triptych is what left some things to be desired on this one.
Correct. You got to make them work together.
This is Steve. I don't think he's here tonight.
Man, we got a lot of absenteeism.
I was distracted by the center photo. I felt like it needed to be turned to the right a little bit so that it was more level.
It's not it's not a straight up view at that chandelier. It's a little off, so it appears to be a little weighted to the bottom, and overall there's kind of a symmetrical presentation going on here with pretty good symmetry throughout, and that being off in the center, you know, felt unbalanced visually to me.
Very unbalanced.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just tipped just enough to get it, to make your eye stick there, you know?
Mhm. And it's actually the location is the Floridian Palace is actually the name. A lot of people assume, just glance at it and think there's an eye in there and think it's the Floridian, but it actually is called the Floridian.
It's one of the
Oh,
old.
I thought it was the Floridian at Disney. Apparently this
No,
is somewhere
no,
else.
The Floridian Hotel in downtown Tampa.
It's the Floridian Palace, downtown Tampa.
Yep.
Oh.
It's one of the old hotels that they revived.
Well, the horizon
I
is
thought that was the
consistently
Floridian
slanted in
too.
all three images. I was interested to see that, you know, that there's a slanted horizon, that it is consistent through all three images. I get the story of what's happening with the boat. I
Yeah.
feel like it could have been more prominent within each frame. There's a lot of empty space around there in those images that doesn't go along with telling the story.
So if he had like, this is Jim Hagen's, by the way. First of all, Jim, you need to straighten out your horizons. And what if he had like cropped these so that, for example, this one up here and then this one here and this one here, that you would have a little bit more boat, and you would realize that the boat is at the dock. Whoops. Why does it keep doing this? That the boat is at the dock, and then the boat is going away from the dock, and now the boat is out into the water, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of excess water and sky in the
Yeah.
images that don't impact the story being told.
Jim Hagen, you understand that?
Jim Hagen went to the bathroom.
Oh,
No,
oh,
no, he didn't. No, I completely understand. I totally missed the horizon. I don't know. I was on drugs today. I put these in.
Well, they're
it's all
they're
that
all three,
building.
they're all three consistent with the slant, which
Yeah.
which was intriguing.
My camera was consistently crooked.
Well, you know, it's funny because a lot of us, I consistently have everything tipped that way. So I have to, you know, be careful, and I have to make sure I straighten everything out, because I'm always pushing. When I push the button down, the camera goes down.
Well, that's why we joined the club, and that's why we learn things.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Jim, too, if it weren't for the artificial horizon that's, you know, been in cameras for like the last 15 years or so, prior to that coming in, I always was the same way. 1.5 degrees tilt on the horizon.
Yep.
It was measurable. You know, I always had to go in and straighten it up, you know, in Photoshop all the time before that. But I was almost perfectly 1.5 degrees off horizon every shot I ever did before the cameras had the ability to show you that.
Oh, that's
All
cool.
right, guys. Do you want to hear an interesting fact from me?
Yeah.
Your eye angle and your handwriting angle are the same tilt off. You always have a dominant eye, and your handwriting, if you take away the lines, they will show at the same angle.
So I guess that applies to cameras too, huh?
Well, it's not the camera, it's how you see, because when you look through the camera, it looks right to you,
Yeah. Oh, it's not, but it's not.
but
Yeah.
it's not,
Makes sense.
because we have a dominant eye.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We're trying to make dollar bills here. You keep trying to make sense.
Yep.
Okay, you
Come
guys
on.
will get that later.
Ha
I had to try this one. I knew you wouldn't like it.
Well, tell me, Lynn, what do you think if you said like, what do you think I wouldn't like about it?
Well, I put this in here because I wasn't sure about, the triptych is supposed to all be the same size and the same orientation. And I threw this one here because I liked it and I decided
No,
I
I
would
don't,
just throw it in there.
I
I
don't
don't
agree
agree
with
that
that.
they all have to be same size. and
Okay.
I
orientation.
don't agree with that.
Okay.
I don't agree with that. Where did you hear that?
I don't know.
But,
I
but
thought that was what triptych was supposed to be, all three the same size. But
you
I
will
liked
get-
it, so I put it in anyway.
you will get a situation near the end of this entire critique where it does not work
Okay.
as far as sizing.
Okay.
Like I say, you can make it work. It can work in some cases and
Okay.
not in some cases. It's one of those case by case things. No, at least on my end, the yellow looks way saturated, and in the center one, the trees look really hot.
Well, it is a little, I did do it a little high key.
Mm-hmm.
I did use all high key.
Okay, but in this case, I'm going to ask why, because your red is so prominent. You're forcing two values to compete with each other,
Okay. Okay.
and then you give it a third one and it has no red in it, or
Yeah,
very little red.
I was worried about the fact that one didn't have any red. But I didn't have another one that, kind of went along with this theme.
Right. So you give me two high key, and then you give me one that's normal,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have red. So we have a lot of inconsistencies here.
Okay. I see that. Okay.
Yet you turn around and have a lot of consistency on this one.
Well, I thought the other one was somewhat consistent. I had a hard time figuring out, I picked out about 5 or 6 different combinations for triptychs, and I had a heck of a time deciding which 2 to use. So this one was always going to be part of it, but I couldn't figure out the second one. No.
Ning,
So
I was about to put the same thing because I didn't put the same thing there for the reddish.
Well, you have a great story going along here, Lynn.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a lucky catch. Not for him, but for me.
Yeah, the wings up and then they're down and then they're back up again. I love it.
Yeah. Well, those guys, they're so entertaining. Those reddish egrets out at Fort DeSoto or anywhere, when they are hunting, they hold their wings up and they get all excited and they jump around and they dance, and when they catch a fish, they get even more excited. So, and then when they lose it, they get, oh, I gotta go catch another one. So yeah, they're fun to watch.
Sort of like a photographer, right?
What? Yeah, I'm jumping around going, what? Wait, he's caught a fish. It's hard to contain all that excitement and get it and keep your camera from bouncing around all over the place.
Right. Man, I wish Fong was here.
She had a great idea. She just
Yes.
yeah, because these flowers are closed in the morning and they open up in the middle of the day and then they close again later in the day, which is what she's demonstrated perfectly. It's just kind of too much.
It's
much stuff.
inconsistent in many ways, visually, and as far as you can't even tell, and I don't suspect that every image is the same flowers.
Yeah.
That it's different perspectives, different angles, doesn't necessarily look like it's the same flowers, and that heavy blue saturation in the first one, is visually way out of line with the next two as far as the tonality goes.
Here she does a little bit better.
Yes, a little bit better job here for sure.
Her story, yeah.
Mhm.
Title was a problem.
What did you say, Brian?
The title was a problem. Lynn pointed out that it's.
Yeah, she doesn't know that they're egrets, and she called them a crane, but that's okay.
the background overwhelms the images in this case.
That's what I thought. There was.
I
too
would have
much
liked to have seen
of those.
the images fill up much more space within that. It visually diminishes the images, I think, to have them on this large of a background with color and texture on it.
Yeah, I think
I
they
thought if she had the black, almost totally black background on each one, they would have, I think it would have been more striking. Or else put the one with the very dark background maybe in the center. I don't know. It's just a little, the differences in the backgrounds was a little distracting, but.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen the center image and the right image swapped places.
Right,
And of
right.
course, everything larger within the background. The background is so overpowering in this presentation.
This is Sherry Kaczynski. Comments, girl? She's here, or she was.
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, the background was a little bit much. I think almost if it had been on a black background, well, you still had to put the border on those to make it work. But even if they were on a white background, they would have popped beautifully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me why the choice of the background.
Just to be kind of consistent with the flowers, I guess.
Okay. You heard the criticism we gave to what is it, Nona?
Nona.
Nona, yeah, Nona. About colors in the background.
Yeah.
White, gray, black.
Mm-hmm.
It's tempting to use the colors that you're matching, but the problem is now where ours are pulled away from your flower images, and we're looking at that background, especially when there's so much of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Next one's dark.
This one's not as bad, I don't think. What do you guys think in terms of the background?
Correct. Yeah, the images still could have been larger on this background, but the images now are front and center as they should be. That the background does not visually detract from the images on the anywhere on the level that the first one did. This is a much better presentation as far as that's concerned.
The issue is, Sherry, with these flowers is passion flowers are really, really hard to shoot because they are so deep. And so I've shot a lot of these guys, and it's hard to get the whole flower in focus. So what you're seeing here is you've got different on the first flower, this part is in focus. On this part, this part, and right here is in focus. And this one, it's focused back here. So it's kind of hard to look at.
Actually, I looked at that and felt like that was part of the triptych.
That's true.
Here's,
you can look at it that way. It's moving through.
That what's in focus is different flower to flower to flower. Yeah. And I actually counted that as part of the, part of artistically is what was being done deliberately. Yeah, because you're right. These flowers are very difficult to get the entire flower in focus. And personally, I appreciated that I got in each image, I got to appreciate and home in on a different part of the flower through each of the three images.
Yeah, that makes sense. The only thing I would recommend in the future is, especially these dark spots back in here, Sherry, is you go into Photoshop and you can use an eyedropper and click it like on the green or this light green, and then use a paintbrush and paint these areas so they're not quite so stark.
Okay.
And that way they, because unfortunately my eye is pulled right to those dark areas. And you could actually I actually take the green color and go over the lighter spots too, so my flower just stands out.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't show them to you on these triptychs, but any other ones we'll show you. We have the opportunity.
I love this one.
Yeah, this is Sylvia, have you done some painting on these?
There, it's, I put a very light texture on the, around the background just to, and
Beautiful.
erased it off of the flowers so that it was just mostly just so it wasn't, because the flower, they were close to other flowers, so the backgrounds were a little busy.
You did a great job with it.
Yeah,
That's
they're beautiful.
that what you did to the background was really nice with these.
Thanks.
Robert?
Yeah, I'm seeing now, Sylvia, I'm getting your combination here, which is you have a very, very emotional eye. Your eye is all about emotion and tenderness and softness. And I'm seeing it throughout your imagery, and that's what I'm pulling from it. And we're going to look at another image later on that's going to illustrate that as well. So
I'll say one thing: if you want to print this, frame this, do something with this, as you probably should. This is beautiful. Just one nitpicky thing I would say is, in this image here, you have one element in the background that just kind of jumps out from everything else up in the upper left-hand corner.
The first one. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
Just that piece of color right up there in the corner is my only nitpick that I would say. Yeah, if you want to print this, do something about that.
Yeah, it's just a little too bright.
I see it now. It's glaring at me that you now that you brought it up.
But it's funny how that works.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, these are beautiful.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else have any comments out there? Okay, we'll move on.
what a funny story.
Yeah.
We agree with your assessment.
Yes, the humor factor worked well with this, and it's very well done, very well presented. This was a good story.
Yeah, this was a honeymoon island, and that seagull was totally obsessed with that one scallop shell. And I watched him for like 30 minutes. He would pick them up and he'd lay it down and he'd pick it up again. And then I saw in his head, I went, how did he turn his head around like that? He must not have any bones in his neck.
Sylvia, the photography told the story better.
Yep.
You always tell me that. Stop talking.
All right, let's move it along. It's 8:45. This is Jim William.
Jim McWilliams, couple of things happening here. He needs to enlarge these images.
Yeah, they're too small.
Yeah,
they're way too small in here. And I don't see the purpose in this of stair stepping them.
Yeah.
There's no real purpose for it. So enlarging the image, bringing up the shadow portions, taking down the background area.
This is so much smaller. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no real reason for it that I can see without him explaining that.
He could have made it longer and shorter. I mean, yeah, more panoramic.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. This stair step and that really, high amount of space above and below, all that white negative space makes this one's hard to look at.
Very much so.
This is Karen's.
Karen's not here, is she?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure why she put this on a vertical. It would have been better on a horizontal. Although it might be part of, she's trying to get something, convey something here. Who knows?
The images themselves, the triptych are lovely. I'm not, like I say, again, this is a case where, this is a case of beautiful images, being diminished by an overpowering amount of background.
I also thought that the background should be dark background.
I don't mind the white. The white looks like a very fine art presentation, and this might be okay on a wall if this were a really, really big print, on a wall in a large room, that might work. but for purposes of us, judging this as a triptych, there's not so much of a point for all that white, background around it, making those images so small and diminished on our screen.
Yeah.
I would have
Okay.
made,
I do like that everyone had two hands on each different instrument, each doing something. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
I love the images. I thought it was beautiful. I just thought there was too much background and the photos were too small. But it's the photos themselves are great.
this image would, if she needed this image to work against the white background, then it could be a square.
Yeah.
If she crops it to a square,
Yeah.
as far as the white, then it will work just nicely.
Mhm.
Oh, I wish Jack was here. Oh, and I'd be hugging him. I would. I'd be hugging him. To think that you've gone from an imprisonment that's terribly, I wouldn't want to be there, to the center image, which says, well, I might want to be there, to then the reminder or wake me up that, oh, this is where I am.
Yeah, this was the contrast from this room was that they recreated this room of Al Capone's based on an article in the newspaper from back then. This was supposedly what it looked like. And he actually did have a roommate. He was an embezzler. The roommate.
So is this a place where you guys went?
Yeah, it's Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yep.
They also have one that you can visit in Nashville. It's the one where they made that movie with Robert Redford in it.
He did a nice job telling the story.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Nice presentation.
And
Well
unlike these,
processed black and white imagery.
yeah,
Yes.
he processed them all the same, where Lee's was a little, off. So they're all the same tone. This is Jan's.
And is Jan here?
Yeah,
she was.
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, Jan. Okay, great. Jan, where was this shot?
So this was up in southern PA, probably not far from Longwood Gardens.
Like at the junkyard.
There was a tiny Four Corners little town called Slateville, and literally just the Four Corners. I think this must have been an old station, gas station, something like that. And the guy just kept accumulating cars on his lot. And it was one of those places where you weren't supposed to exactly trespass, but you sort of did if you could.
Jan, I'm going to ask you a question before I give you my assessment of this. How do you feel about this set of images? These set of images?
I like them. I like the colors. I kind of gravitate towards texture and things like that. I think what I don't like about it, and it was just because this is what I had, to me, there's a bit of an inconsistency that the middle image is kind of it's inside. I guess for me, I would have liked to have had all three, maybe inside more close-up images, or maybe all three on the outside of the vehicles. So I kind of struggled a little bit with that, but.
Well, I'll tell you, okay, Jan, I need you to never trust your own judgment.
It's what you get for trying to make her say something.
Okay.
The only thing I would do differently with the three that you have there is swap the left image and the right image. That one with the blue color, that blue color is very prominent and inconsistent to the rest of it. So put that in the center and then bookmark it with the other two that have very similar color palettes in them, and put the one with the bolder color in the center.
Okay, so the blue one would go in the center.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I played around with that as far as the color too, trying to get it more consistent. And I see what you're saying. I guess I was thinking, well, that rust color was kind of predominant in all three, so I was kind of hoping I could get away with it that way, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
To me, that I thought about moving them around as well, because that one handle seems to go into the next picture. It's not a handle, but yeah.
So that one was the other thing that I struggled about. I happen to like the middle picture, even just because I like all the texture and the fabric.
I like the picture. Don't misunderstand me. I like it. Yeah.
Well,
I think it's done well.
I just wasn't sure, and I even tried to Google to find out, the handle goes off to the right and it's kind of exiting the picture. And I wasn't sure if that was really kosher composition wise, having,
No, this one's fine. In fact, that center image would stand on its own, as well. Of the three, if I were going to pick one to stand alone and do, it would be the center image.
Yeah, for sure.
Now see, Robert, now that does make me feel good as far as my judgment, because that was my favorite.
Wait, I'm not talking about a favorite or non-favorite. That's not where I'm going with this. I'm going with the fact that you have this thing about a doubt in there when there needs not be doubt. Let's take what Jim said. Let's swap the middle image and put it on the left-hand side. Let's put the blue image in the middle, okay?
Okay.
Let's start. All right, now let's look at how the flow is. That handle in the middle image that we're talking about right now, which will now be on the left-hand side.
Okay.
That handle is your beginning. Look at that line.
Yeah.
That line comes from the bottom up and you meet that handle. And in the middle, go to the middle image. Now the middle image, stay on the middle image. Then go to the first handle. Yes, that handle goes up. Now, when it goes up, you said, okay, that's a nice color palette going there. Now I'm leaving the page and I'm going down. Now, when I go down, what do I pick it back up? Is the line on the blue image, on the one on the left, and I come in, I find that rust is now repeated, and now I have the handle again.
Okay.
All right, the handle takes me down and out. It's pointing over to the right. Now it brings me over to that right, and now I got a contrast, now a color contrast of the yellow against the blue, but the rust is consistent throughout all three. The handle goes down to the light, and then the dominant light above it holds it all together. So now I am at the end.
Yeah.
And I'll point this out: the image that we're talking about sticking in the center, it has a vertical line dividing it into a left half and a right half. And you put that in the center, and you almost have a center line within a triptych that would work very well compositionally, with that being divided into a left half and a right half, almost as though it were two images. That vertical line in the center of this triptych would work very well.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'll do that. I'll switch them around. Thank you.
Now, I wanted to tell you right now is that's why we are the professionals, and that's one of the reasons why we are here, in order to make you feel less than what you are, but more. But your images are more than what they appear.
Thank you, Robert.
It's 5 minutes to 9. Let's do this quicker.
Okay, sorry. All right, Brian, you're way too far off.
Yep.
A lot closer.
Zoom in, crop in. At least on the second two, a little bit on the first one, but on the second two, crop in a lot further. We have too much information around the story.
Well, I wanted to get the whole water splash disbursement thing in.
This is like that boat we saw earlier.
Yeah, it's just too far away. We can't see
too far away.
We can't really see the story because it's too small.
Okay.
This one, you were closer.
Much better.
Much better. You got it on this one.
Okay.
The first image in that previous triptych looks like a Pink Floyd album, Wish You Were Here, with the diver in Mono Lake. All right.
Overlapping deals don't work. Overlapping images do not work.
And not enough visual separation between subject and background. If this were shot at a much more wide open aperture, or, you know, much more shallower depth of field, soften up the background, you know, help the subject matter, you know, not get, you know,
Too much
to
going on. behind them.
separate the subject from the background. It's a very busy background with a very busy subject.
All right, on to general. We'll do these. There's only 16 of them, so we should be able to go through these pretty quickly.
Alan, is Alan here?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Why is that poll at the end?
I'm sorry.
Why is
Oh,
that poll at the end?
you know,
Yeah. And
good
if we're-
point. I should have removed it.
Or just crop it right.
Crop it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about things, why are they there? I know why they're there. It's because they were there, but those three dark clouds, you have this great big nice blue sky, and then especially that cloud in the center that just kind of touches the balcony on that building, and the other one of them, like I said, you could clean those up, give that a clean sky, and we don't have that detracting from the buildings. I know it was there for real, but that would be it would be a cleaner composition without those little dark clouds.
Okay.
When I first looked at that image, I thought the one in the upper right was a lens, a dirty lens.
Yeah, a sensor spot.
Yeah, it definitely distracted from what otherwise is a pretty interesting image because of the color.
Thank you.
She's thinking
That is
about these titles, guys. She's got it. We
That is a wonderful
no, we
abstract.
gave Jan a hard time about the title the first month she was here, and she's got these titles down pat now.
Thanks, Lynn.
That is a,
Jan has made a lot of improvement from the first time she walked to that door.
that is a fantastic abstract
Yep.
right there. That's beautiful.
Thanks, Jim.
What do you
Yeah,
mean,
I like
thanks,
it
Jim?
too very much.
And Sylvia, apparently you and I don't count.
Well, I said I liked it very much, so.
Yeah, but she didn't give me credit. She said, thanks,
Thanks,
Jim.
Sylvia.
Robert gave her too much of a hard time before. She's not going to thank you anymore.
Junkyard automotive glass is a great macro subject matter.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Now, how in the world did you know that's what that was, Jim?
Because I've photographed
Yep.
Junkyard windows and glass on cars a lot myself,
Yep.
because it's so beautiful.
Yep.
And I looked at this and I instantly knew it was a window or a windshield on a junkyard car.
Has anybody been up to Old Car City up in Georgia?
No, we've been talking about going up there sometime.
I'm going to be going up next month, I hope.
Well,
That'd be nice. But if
Yeah.
if you ever decide to go up, let me know.
okay. Next one.
Wish Luann was here. I tell her that's a tripod in that guy's hand, right?
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Or the guy has a prosthetic.
Mhm.
Oh, jeez.
Or
Yeah,
he's
that's-
holding up his, I don't know, it might be his hand with a phone in it. I'm not sure. It's kind of weird looking.
Right.
Yeah, it's a distracting technological element
Yeah.
in this beautiful natural
Yes.
setting.
So that is my problem. I wish Jack was here as well.
Yep. Well, I know you're going to say it. Go ahead.
Jim, take the words out of my mouth.
I don't get the point of just the blue color.
I'm
being-
wondering why he has the blue in there.
Because
What is up with the
because
blue?
it's drawing my attention and making me focus on the least interesting part of the
Correct.
entire image.
Why?
And
Why?
you guys, actually, I think that this is at Longwood Gardens. And that day, everything was gray and that tile was blue. So he didn't do that on purpose. That's the way it was. But yeah, he should have gotten rid of the blue. He should have just converted this to black and white if he was going to do this like that.
I'm saying, but yeah, he could have, but why didn't he?
I'm not sure why he used this image, because I know he's got a lot better stuff from Longwood Gardens than this. I wasn't really, when I saw this, I'm like, what was he thinking?
I actually like the stark look of it though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
except
it's
that the blue
definitely, yeah.
color,
No, the blue to me, yeah,
yeah,
needs to go.
it just says, look here,
Yeah.
but there's nothing to see there.
But when you said
And
about
why is the tree on the left side half the trunk missing?
Yeah, it's we'd have to do something like that.
Yeah, thank you, Lynn.
What is he, the man, thinking there when he gives me that blue? And I'm going to tell you, Brian, see that little ring in the middle with the ketchup?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Well, I mean, that was my table. And that's what they had there. I mean,
I know, I understand that's what they had.
But you had this little handle right here, and you could have picked it up and set it over here on the other table while you were taking the picture.
I could have.
Look at your napkin area.
Yeah, I know. This photo, I took this with my cell phone as I would, just after I ate, and I wasn't thinking that it was going to look good enough to use as a real photo. And so I wasn't paying attention to those little details at the time. But then when I got it, I thought it looked pretty good. So.
Right. And then you bring it over here to me. And now I'm not going to come to your family's outing.
What? Oh.
I'm not going to be your other family member anymore.
He's probably glad of that.
So what are you doing? You think that I need to a little more punch?
I just played a little bit with a little bit of contrast, and it took the highlights down a little bit. It was a little too bright.
That makes it look like an old timey postcard.
It was good on my end to start with. Now it got blue and dull on my end.
Liked it like that?
On my end, that looks good.
I like that better.
The histogram looks good too.
Okay.
But you just took out the frame on the left side. You cropped the left side off,
Yeah,
and now it's
cropped
part of
down.
it.
There you go.
I mean,
Okay.
that looks better than having half a chair, right?
Yeah.
I forgot to I did reset it all the way. So
Yeah.
That's it.
I will ask you to do this, Lynn. Go down to transform. And hit auto in there.
Yeah, I did. That's what I did. It chopped off.
Right. Now it should have left some of it on there.
Yeah.
Okay, but okay. I see what you did. Okay, I understand.
And obviously, if I was going to pick the details, I should have taken the book off the table as well. That
using the upright guidelines might let you straighten that up without losing it. Yeah, there you go.
I actually like the atlas being there. Well, I thought it was an atlas. Is it an atlas?
Yeah. Well, it's a DeLorme street atlas. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I should have. I wish
like
that. I
But
wish.
that.
I wish that
There you are.
Okay, we're
Yeah,
talking about.
I think if it had just been left and right vertical, it would be just fine. Without the, I don't think it needs the horizontal adjustment, but the left, left, right, vertical would probably fix it without
And it would
losing too
probably
much of the chair. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
It's a nice photo. I liked it, Brian. I mean, I like the
Yeah.
takes your eye into that water,
the,
and the mountains, and
Yeah, the concept and the execution and everything were good. It's just the two elements that that are, as Robert pointed out, that are just sloppy in the composition. Then but it could have been a really nice it was almost a really, really nice travel photo.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This one is
Balance.
Alan.
Yes, sir.
It looked a little crunchy to me.
I
Like it
can't
was
zoom in
over
on it from
sharpened?
here to know.
I want to point something out to you, Alan.
Okay.
If Lynn, if you could take a look at that left post.
Yes,
All right, you see the left post? You
yes.
see what's in front of that left post? Now, the foreground.
Oh, the rocks, yes.
Now, before that, after that.
Right
Go
here.
up, yes, go up more. And that greenery.
Yes.
All right, see that?
Yes.
Now you see what's in front of that. Go up further, right there.
Oh,
See
yeah.
that?
Yes.
Okay, that's weighing on that left side. There's a lot of weight there. Now, here's an instance where if you step to the right, that you are creating some separation between those two lines right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're creating some separation from those two lines, which then open up the space a little bit more. You have your foreground, midground, and background areas covered, but I want you to pay close attention to what's happening on all four corners of your image instead of just the center portion of your image.
Okay, good
Yeah.
point.
So yeah, these two are interfering with each other.
Okay.
And I think I don't know, on my end here, these rocks are pretty light.
They are.
I would
Yeah.
darken this up too a little bit. You know, if you
Yeah,
could
that's a good, the rocks were a problem for me. I thought they were an important part of the image because it was right at the end there.
they just
And
too
I didn't
bright.
want to cut them out.
Yeah.
And I tried blurring them. Robert taught us something using the tilt shift function.
Yeah.
And that just called more attention to them. So I just
Yeah, so
left
I
them.
just darkened them up a little bit.
It
And you
looks
can actually
better.
go in with the brush and darken up these light ones so
Yeah.
that they're there, but they're not pulling your eye there because you want
Got
your eye to go out here.
Okay.
All right,
Good.
Alan, I'm going to give you something that I learned from Jim. Whenever you have some rocks, you're not sure what to do with it, put some bourbon over it.
I'm going to remember that. I enjoy that too. Thank you for your suggestions. Very, very helpful.
I'm glad I jumped in just now because if I hadn't, I would have missed that advice.
Is
So
that Tom?
yeah, sorry, I forgot about tonight, and I was watching the new Barack Obama
Oh,
Netflix series, Our
National
National
Parks is really good.
fantasizing about the cameras and the opportunity to spend the time they do to do that. And then I was like, oh no, I forgot. So if anyone hasn't seen that, oh my God, it's so
Yeah,
good.
I've seen the first one. It's awesome.
And you get to hear Obama talk about like elephant poop, and it's great.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'll shut up now.
Hey, Lynn,
Yeah.
can you desaturate the yellow in the lower left?
Hey, Lynn, that's supposed to be a square.
How that?
Yeah, it's not displaying completely in the in your frame. It's enlarged. There
Yeah,
you
hold
go.
on a second.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, I just that bright yellow in the lower left was taking my eye down to the lower left, and there's a great pattern up above the of the tree, but that bright yellow in the lower left was competing with it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really cool abstract for sure.
Yeah, in your history, just jump back and forth between your first step and your last step, Lynn. Yeah. See what I mean?
Yep, I
Yeah,
do.
yeah, it's way too bright compared to everything else.
Yeah, yeah. And and I intentionally pulled up the yellow, so. but-
Yeah, that would have been good if there was yellow all over the place, but there wasn't, so.
Yeah, yes, but now that I see what you've done and looking at, yeah, you're right. My eye immediately goes down to that lower left corner, so. Got it.
This is Steve's. Great shot.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome sharpness everywhere from the
Yeah, I
Eyes are
talons
sharp,
to the
claws
eyes,
are sharp.
feather. Yeah,
Wings are
yeah, the
sharp.
sharpness through and through on that
Shot this
bird.
at
is,
8.5 at 1/16th of a second, which that's why it's caught. He's at a great angle to catch everything in focus at f8. So
timing is the timing is there.
Yep.
Well done.
I got a major question on the last one though.
on this one,
Yeah, and is that Steve Zenix?
Yeah.
Is that right?
yeah, Steve. Yeah,
Is he here?
no.
Then I swear this is taxidermy.
It's kind of hard to get their tail feathers out and their wing feathers out like that if they're taxidermied.
Oh no, you can do that. And the thing about it is that you don't get that kind of sharpness.
Yeah, but you know what? He is not even. He is in the air.
And
He's
that
looking
is
at claws. He's
no,
not.
that,
touching
he's not in
anything.
there. There's a little pole behind that that's coming out of that little branch that's suspended in the air. Come on.
It's just you just say that because you could never catch a bird like this.
And that is true. That's why I say that.
This is Sylvia.
And Sylvia, this is what I talk about, that sensibility, that tenderness that I spoke of earlier with your plants is now being displayed in your animals. But I do want to take away one thing from this photograph, as far as taking something away. And that would be the branch that's there's only one branch. That part is not doing it. That was okay. It's the one that's behind the head, that one.
Yeah. And that would have been easy to take away, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and I would also have darkened that green, just like I did. I darkened the green leaves up a little bit because they are
I
kind
took
of
them
bright.
down some, but
Yeah.
I probably didn't take them enough.
Yes, the scene and the emotion portrayed here is great. Technically, I have a question. Lynn, are you able to enlarge this? Click down to the bottom. Is that as big as this can go?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm curious about that sudden loss
There you
of
go.
detail in the feathers there, and there's another portion higher,
Right
up there around either side of the where your hand under the bill of that bird, right in there, and then there's another area. There's
Yeah, I mean the leaves even look a little weird.
where there's
Did
like a
you
complete loss of
crop this a
detail
lot,
in the,
Sylvia?
Yes,
Yeah, it was cropped a lot. That's
it was
then-
cropped a lot, yeah.
yeah, it's
Because
been
there's
cropped
so
and
much.
then it looks like it was over sharpened maybe or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, because the
No,
detail.
I didn't, I probably put it through. What was the ISO really high? I can't,
Yeah, 3200.
yeah, I think I put it through denoise. I didn't
Okay,
put it through
and
sharpen, but
that's
I
what
did put it
that's
through
what
topaz
happened.
denoise.
Your denoise
Lost the
mistook-
detail there, yeah.
your denoise took feather detail and assumed it was noise and obliterated the feather detail
Yeah.
as opposed to cleaning up noise. Yeah, if you're gonna use a noise reduction like that, you have to go in and mask out those high frequency detail areas like feathers and things like that it
Yeah.
mistakes for noise. That
Mhm.
answers that question. That's exactly
Yeah,
what happened.
that's what it was.
Yeah,
Can
run that filter on another layer and then use a mask and then paint the feathers back in.
Okay, because I know that topaz sharpen, you can isolate a subject and you can mask but I don't think denoise has that. So I could have just done it in Photoshop and did it.
Yeah,
do it
just make another layer, run it, and then
paint it
mask,
in.
and then use the mask to put the feathers back in again.
Oh, cool. I'm glad to have that information because I didn't know to do that. So great. Thank you. I love this. I think it's great.
Yeah, we've all seen these shots of stairways, but this was an interesting take on turning it into an angle and a perspective to give it that eyeball look.
Yeah.
I know that title was perfect. That title was perfect.
The title was perfect.
Yeah, an interesting take on a common subject.
Well, I liked it because it looked like it even had like catch lights.
Catch lights.
Yeah.
Catch lights in the pupil. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got this at all different angles, and when I saw this, I'm like, oh my God, that looks like an eye. This was in a mansion at one of the places that we went. I think Winterthur. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't happen to have any more on the right side, do you?
No, unfortunately, I cut it off, and none of the other ones were at the right angle. I couldn't, add on to it. I was going to try to mask it in, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
This is one of those world famous Himalayan blue poppies at Longwood Gardens. This was Jack's, I think.
That you love.
Yep.
My eye does keep going to that one wilted over little piece on the left-hand side of the center.
This one, yeah.
No, right dead center, the little white strand,
the actual
yellow pollen on the end. Yeah, that one little flopped over piece right there. I can't stop my eye from going to that.
This little guy.
Yeah.
That's Jim, that's a sperm cell gone bad.
Yeah, and I probably would have darkened. Like I mentioned before, taken this into Photoshop and clicked one of these green and got kind of painted in these dark spots so they weren't quite so obvious. Mm-hmm. It is really difficult. This place where they have them planted, they've got all kinds of different flowers and colors and leaves and everything else. It was hard to get a view of these without a lot of stuff behind them. So, but yeah, so you kind of have to use a little painting ability to get rid of some of these contrasty colors behind it. But yeah, these flowers are gorgeous. This is leaves.
What kind of flower is this?
That's an anemone.
Anemones.
Anemone.
All right, you got just like Jim had pointed out in the last one, you got a lone one back there as well. That one right there.
Yeah. Yeah. This is in the conservatory or the orangery at Longwood Gardens. So.
Well.
This is Tom's. And he's here.
Tom's here.
I have suggestions for you.
Let's hear them.
Since you're in Lightroom. Crop the bottom to get rid of that bright stuff off the bottom. There you go. Now you don't have to go that high. Just you can go down. Yeah, down even a little further. You can go down a little. Well, that's okay. And yeah, and if you use two gradient tools and kind of invert the light to dark area and have it lighter at the top and a little darker at the bottom, where right now it's all bright at the bottom and transitions to dark at the top, you can use a couple gradient tools and just I mean all the way up to between the owl's heads.
Right this way?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Try that, and then run another gradient from the top down to between the owls, to like below the beak of the lower owl, and brighten up the top some, and then let's compare. Then go back in your history and let's look at the difference. That's my take on it.
Would you lighten that one eye, brush in there and lighten up that one eye on the right side? That keeps, or maybe that's should leave it alone, but I, in
No,
my mind, I thought,
I agree with you, Sylvia.
Sylvia,
yeah,
Sylvia, why do you do that?
do what?
You got an opinion and your opinion is your opinion, but then you go, you turn around and go, but maybe I might be having something wrong with my headache, or maybe I didn't.
I know.
Hey,
Okay.
I'll say one of the things that got me joining this group is I've tried to get harsh criticism in the past and no one does it. So I appreciate your feedback and I share it.
Tom,
I'm serious. That's what I'm looking for.
Tom,
It's not just comments about bad sperm because I've been accused of being one.
Tom, we are proud masochists around here.
Oh, dear.
Okay, that joke didn't go over too well.
I'm sad that I missed the commentary on the one I said for the Triptych.
We'll go back to that one for you because he wanted to talk to you about it anyway. So
Great, because I want to hear what he has to say.
And
There
this
you
is
go.
recorded, so you can go back and hear the original comments as well.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Thanks.
But don't check out now, though.
No.
What do you think about the before and after now?
I like it because it's like 2.5 hour drive down to Cape Coral for
yeah,
these little guys. And so you kind of get the day you get. So it's
Yep.
that's one of the things about this shot that I really wanted to draw more attention to the two owls. And one of my bad habits, but one of my habits is I don't change the format. Like I usually stick with the 3x2, no matter what. And so that's helpful to see that crop in the radial filters because I don't think radial filters.
There's a lot of folks out there that don't like to crop, but it doesn't make any sense. You need a crop to make the picture.
Well, I crop. I find myself constantly just going to 3x2.
Yeah, just sticking to the same aspect ratio.
Yeah, I like that.
You can actually go in with a brush and kind of darken this. These green things are bothering.
Then
bright.
and the final touch on this, which you don't have time to do, Lynn, but you could go in Photoshop and take that big blade of grass out that parallels the top owl.
Yeah, get rid of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of these little spotsy things here too.
But yeah, the big blade of grass parallel to the top owl is is the big offender. Just take that out of there.
But yeah, so yeah, it makes a big difference going from here to here. You can actually see his eye now. Yay! Okay, reset. Next. This is Steve's.
Steve's not here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yellow and blue complementary colors, working well.
Yeah. And he actually, I got the masks and everything right here.
Why did he call it alter reality? Because of the infrared?
Well, because it's super color.
Oh, okay.
Well, one of the things that I noticed, I see that the sky is darkened, which is fine, but in the lower left-hand corner, it's not.
Actually, there's a building over here.
Yeah, that's a building.
That's a building?
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, the super color does make, when you do the channel switching, it does make the sky really super blue.
I thought that was the sky, so that's my bad.
Just look at, he hasn't used a lot of dehaze, which with a super color you end up using a lot of dehaze and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a super color infrared, so it does have a lot of color to it.
Yeah,
the blue in the sky didn't bother me. It was just that corner I thought.
Yeah, you thought that was more blue sky over there. Yeah.
It's a building over there. I'm not sure why the building's blue, but it's a building.
Yeah. Well, it's probably a white building that then picked up the blue sky color.
Yeah.
The one thing I would suggest in this to Steve, if he watches the replay, is lower left side of the temple itself, the sidewalk, burn that down a little bit. That's a little hot compared to the rest of the image.
I mean, you can take he's done some masking here already. You can see what he's done. Let's see what else we can do. Just just take a gradient right here and just see what we can just get the exposure down a little bit. Yeah, just a tad. It doesn't take much.
A brush, yeah, just yeah, using a brush with the auto mask option checked would do a fine job on that.
All right, no, one more, two more. This is Fong's.
I think Fong could have done better with one of her images replaced with this in the triptych.
I agree 300%.
Yeah. Yep.
300%, I agree.
Should that one have been horizontal? Would it make it any different or not?
I think it would. But then I'd slap her. I'd slap her because of the blue color.
And last but not least is this one, and this is Sherry's.
I think it's beautiful to look at with the color palette and everything going on. It's too much space at the bottom and too close to the top. At the very least, crop the bottom up. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. You know, if there was a reflection there, Sherry, then you could have left it, but there is none. So it's just kind of like, what is all that stuff down there? So it's about the flower. So you want to get rid of the stuff that's extracting from the flower.
Yeah.
Okay. Take the highlights down just a tad.
Yeah, the tip of that petal is still a little close to the top, but
yeah, I'd like more room up there.
Sure did help that.
Yeah.
But that's beautiful to look at.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
We got 2 minutes on Tom.
Oh, that's right. We got to go back to Tom's real quick. Hold on, let me get in the library.
Thank you for the accommodation.
Yeah, Tom. What was the situation? Are you in their studio? And is this window light?
That's actually a flash. I was in a crummy kind of lightless building in someone's house in Lebanon, and they gave free yoga classes to like the compound, and just as a like thank you, the person did yoga. We did a couple shots for her.
You say that this is flash?
Yep.
Wow.
I set up what did I do? I set up all I had was a softbox, and it was like I think like a 24-inch softbox, so it wasn't very big.
That's what I started looking at the shadows and thinking it's a modifier, but it's not a big modifier.
No, I don't have a big modifier. I think I even like set up like and I just backed it up a bit and pumped a lot of energy into it. And I had a black bed sheet that I just put in the back there because it was like 70s wood paneling.
Yeah.
And the floors are all like marble. So I tried to we got rid of the yoga mat because I liked the reflections.
Yeah, that was a good call, taking the mat out and going with that floor. Was there something to the camera left that was bouncing any fill light back in on that?
I think there's some walls there. I couldn't completely remove the light. I think I set up.
No, I actually.
No, Tom, you get it all wrong. This is really
I'm
good.
saying that.
No, I had a reflector. I think I put a reflector on the other side.
In both of the outside shots, look at her arm that's on the left side, opposite of the light position. There's some bounce fill coming back in on that side of the arm. It's a good thing. That's a really good thing.
I think what I did was, and this was actually for a while ago. I've been trying to just do shots I took in the month, but I for the triptych I didn't have anything I thought worked. I had a big like 6-foot reflector, one of those foldable ones. I think I just put it on a chair and leaned it up as best I could.
So you were bouncing light back in from the left side.
Yeah,
great. That's what I was commenting on. That's not a negative. That was a good call. that was a good call.
So Tom,
All right, what do you got?
I did that. Just gave it to you. You did something right.
Go
It's the only one
Tom.
of us getting this month.
Yeah.
So were there any other comments or?
Your emotional aspect of it, the capturing what's going on, your title was really good. And the most interesting part of that was we thought it was in a studio and window light. So you did quite well on that.
You tricked us really well.
Thanks.
But you won't get it like this all the time, Tom. Just I'm here to tell you.
No worries. What was my number? What number did I get?
Oh, gosh, hold on a second. Let me check.
23, an award.
Cool.
Yeah, oh, you got it.
Yeah.
What did he get on the other one? I can't remember now. On the, oops, competition score sheet. You got a 22, an award on
22,
the
an award.
birds, on the owls. And
And a 23 on the triptych.
23 on the triptych.
Cool. Sorry for being late.
It's okay.
No, Lynn, it's not okay.
All right, good
Stop
night,
sharing.
everyone.
All right. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys, for coming.
Bye, everybody.
All right,
Where
we'll see
do
you
I,
in the
where do
next
I go
round.
to, where do I go to
Yeah.
find the recording, by the way? Does it go up later or
It'll be on the
something?
website probably tomorrow.
See you, Alan.
What,
Hi,
what's the
everybody.
technical,
Take
what's
care.
the edu-
Good night.
what's the education next week?
Minimalism.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. All right. So long, everyone.
Hey,
So
Barry.
long.
Bye.
Bye.
I
Bye,
may
guys.
or may not be there. I would like to be there because I really like minimalism, and I'm going to be out. I'm going to be traveling next week, and I may or may not be back by Friday night. If I
Well,
am,
I
I'm
think I'm
definitely going
gonna-
to be there.
See if he'll let me record it. And then I will send the link to just the members and I won't put it on the website.
Hmm. Yeah,
I'll ask
that'd
him
be
to do
good.
that. Because he doesn't do this regularly, so he may not be adverse to me recording it. So I'll try. Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks. Good to see you, Tom.